So what made you decide to want to do that? To go see his grave? To go visit him?
I think I've wanted to for a while. I just never actually did it. To be honest, I didn't even know where it was. Like, it's been brought up between me and my grandma and my mom, but it's never actually went anywhere where I knew enough to even go there if I wanted to.
Okay. How far is he from here?
He's in Wilmington.
Okay.
So probably like an hour or some
Okay.
change.
So it's a little bit of a drive.
Yes.
Okay. So that'll give you some time to think.
Yeah, process.
Process.
Yeah, I don't even know what. Like, this would be my first time going to someone's grave in general.
Okay, so no wonder you're having some anxiety.
So I don't even know what. I don't know. Like, I don't even know. Like, I'm going, but I don't really have like a plan, so to speak. Like, I'm just going and just gonna see what happens. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get emotional.
Mm-hmm. Which is
but
understandable.
Yeah, for sure. I past that, I'm really not sure what to expect. To be honest, like, at all.
Okay.
So,
what is your purpose for going?
One, I just want to see where he is, because it's been 30 years and I had no idea where I knew he was in Wilmington and that was it.
Okay.
So just that, I feel like it is definitely going to be healing for me. One way or another, it's going to be a form of healing for me. I think that's really the main reasons. Like, I want to see where he is. I want to be able to, I don't know, I guess get things off my chest, or, can't really say talk. I guess talk to him. I don't even know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not gonna talk to me, but for me, just to get some stuff off my chest, I guess.
Okay. And that's not unusual. A lot of times people will do that. Mm-hmm. They'll go and visit their loved one and, talk to them, connect with them, because that's kind of where their body rests. So, there's nothing unusual about wanting to do that. And maybe as now you being an adult, this gives you the time and the space to be able to kind of say whatever comes to your mind, and being able to get some sense of, maybe, I don't know if it's necessarily closure, but maybe validation that, this is how you feel, and you didn't get that opportunity. You didn't get a lot of that information or those answers.
Yeah.
And sometimes that can be helpful to just be able to express that.
Maybe even closure a little bit, just because, like, this would be my first time ever. And I want to keep saying speaking to him, but I don't even know if that's the right terms to use. But that would be my first time ever having anything to say to him, because I wasn't even 2 yet when, when he died. So,
what do you imagine it will be like at the graveyard?
As far as for me,
like, just in general, what it would look like? What?
I have no
idea.
Okay. I know what I do know is that he has a plaque, I think it is, instead of the stone. He has like the.
And it's in the ground.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. But other than that, I have not a clue. I have no idea.
Every cemetery is set up a little differently, and they will have someone that can kind of direct you to where you need to go. And once you're there, it's up to you if you want to stand, if you want to sit, because obviously it's outside. Some people will bring flowers, or like Christmas time they might do wreaths, or Halloween, fall time, they might do pumpkins. So some people will leave mementos for their loved ones, and you know, other times people just go just to visit, maybe not even necessarily say anything. But it's really what you decide you need, whether you want to give or just being able to, you know, let some things go.
Yeah.
What is your belief when a person passes away, as far as death goes?
Like, as far as when I talk to him being able to hear me, or I don't think so. I think when you're dead, this world is absolutely nothing to you. And everybody that's here, not that everybody here is nothing, but you're not. I believe that you're not thinking like, or my dad is not going to be thinking like, dang, I miss my daughter, or I wish I didn't do what I did. Like,
yeah,
you know, I just don't believe that. So I think what I'm doing is definitely more so for me, not for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think sometimes people will, you know, it may be their belief that their loved one can hear them and all, but in you're saying, like, for you it's more about you, it's about your healing and not his.
Yeah. So I think to think that it would do something for him is kind of like unfair, and like a way to help me at the end of the day anyway, just to believe that he could hear me. So it's not like a security blanket a little bit almost. But I personally don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't have nothing to back that up, but I just don't believe that.
What is it that you would want to say that you feel will help you in this healing process?
I'm really not even sure. Like, I feel like I kind of just want to say everything, just from where it started for me, how I found out about him in the first place, about my dad, you know, just everything to where I am now. I feel like just getting it all out would be helpful for me. I think not holding back how I feel, even when the time I was angry with him and just all that, like, I feel like just getting all that out would be helpful to me.
Yeah.
How it's all gonna come out when I actually get there is, I don't know, but.
Are you hoping to speak it out loud, or are you gonna speak silently?
Oh no, out loud for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And put it out there in the universe.
Right.
And by doing so, it's going to help you, no matter how you let it out, it's going to help you to take some of that off of you.
Yeah.
All of the things that you've thought and felt and wanted to say and didn't get to say, that's your opportunity to say everything. And however you want to say it and however it comes out, it'll come from the heart. It doesn't have to be in any specific, you know, order or any specific way. It's just once you get there, just let whatever happens happen.
I feel like already I'm just holding back tears because I don't know what to expect. Like, and it's weird to say that I miss him because I don't know him. You know what I mean? I don't know him.
Is it the idea of missing the father, the biological father that you never had?
Yeah, because I'm a part of him, and I can't really connect myself with him because I don't know him, you know. So like I don't know. It's like I miss someone that I don't know. I know his name.
Yeah.
And I stumble on his birthday, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know him, but he's still my dad regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's my biological dad because my stepdad, he's my dad.
Yeah.
But I'm part of him. You know, he's the reason. He's part of the reason I'm here, and to not have any memory whatsoever is hard. Like, everything that I hear about him has to be from someone else. Everything that I know about him, it has to come from someone else. And he doesn't have the best track record with people, so a lot of the times it's not always pretty things that I'm hearing. You know, so it's hard. And it's all from my side of the family because I have no relationship with his side of the family at all. None. So that kind of adds to it not being the easiest thing.
Yeah.
You know, because the people who grew up with him and who may know him the best, I don't talk to. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, and they know of me, but it's just like.
Yeah. So there's a big.
I feel like it's just everything's just a giant question mark. Everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a big like unanswered question.
Exactly.
Like all of it. Like there's just so much that is unknown and you may never know.
Right.
And that I think that's also going to be part of your healing process is accepting that you may not get certain answers to certain questions, and you may not get a lot of the information that you would want. You know, and I think with that you have to have some acceptance.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy to accept that, but
don't really have a choice.
Yeah, because if you were like expecting people to, whether it's on his side of the family or his friends or whatever, to give you that information and they don't, then you're going to be really disappointed. But you don't have those ties with them and
right.
those relationships, so it's not going to happen likely. But I would say that you must be feeling much more, I mean, ready, obviously, but at a point in your life where you feel this is the time to do it.
I do.
You know, you feel it, you must be in a good place mentally in order to do this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I just got the address where he was last night, and I was like, yeah, I'm going today. I'm off today. There's really no need to put it off, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like I said, I'm excited and anxious, and I don't know what to expect. I'm going to go back home, grab me some tissues, because I know I'm going to need it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I get the feeling, but grab a notebook. Not really sure why. Just have a feeling that I need to take a notebook with me. And after that, I'm not sure. I think flowers is a good idea. I'm going to do fake flowers because me personally, I love flowers, but I prefer fake flowers just because I don't have to throw them away. I can keep them, so I'm going to probably do fake flowers. But yeah, I'm not really sure what to expect, to be honest.
Okay. What's behind the anxiety? What do you think that's about?
I think maybe just the unknown. Like, from all of it, for unknown of him, unknown of cemetery in general. I don't know. I'm really not sure. Like, outside of that, I don't really know. Like, just I think, like I said, the first time that I'm actually gonna be saying something to him will be in a grave. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Like, I don't want to say weird, but like, I just don't know how to grasp that. You know what I mean? Like, I've never done that before, so I don't know.
It just brings to life the fact that, like, you will never have the opportunity
to actually talk to him.
To actually talk to him, to
Right.
have him in your life, you know. And I think there's some reality in that, like
Yeah.
knowing that this is the relationship,
This is the extent
you'll
of it,
have.
right?
you know, which is unfortunate, you know.
And I'm thinking, like, would it have been harder me to know him, and to actually know him and had a relationship with him, and then still have to go? Like, would it have made it my feelings different because I already knew who he was, or you know what I mean? Like, I mean, not that it matters because it's just curiosity.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
a loss either way,
Right.
but it may have a different effect on you because if you were close to him and you had a relationship with him, I think that hurt would be different than the hurt of not having had that relationship. You know,
Yeah.
you're grieving a loss of something that didn't happen versus you'd be grieving the loss of, you know, that relationship that you had built. You know, so I mean, either way, there's loss, there's hurt, you know, there's sadness in that, and probably more so anger towards him not being a part of your life than if, you know, if you were. It would. I think that hurt might be on a deeper level.
Yeah.
But it's a loss nonetheless. You know,
Yeah.
it's the reality of I'm never gonna have that relationship with him. I'm never gonna know him. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that's hard.
It is, because like I don't know, like I said, just the know, like I know he was there for over a year of my life, but I was also a year, so you know what I mean. It's not like I was
And you don't
13, even
yeah.
9, 10 when he
Right.
was there. Like I literally was a baby. I have zero. If it wasn't for my family giving me a picture of him, I wouldn't even know what he looks like.
Right, you don't have any memories.
Zero.
And so it's almost like, how do I grieve the loss of someone I never even knew?
Right.
You know.
Right.
But you are, you know, connected because you're related and because he's your biological father.
Right.
You know. So yeah. But it's interesting that you're at a point in your life that you want to go and do this. Because before,
and just keeping that I guess communication. I don't even. That's probably not the right.
Well,
you know, I was like, it's
yeah,
so weird because like
but it's almost
like maybe updates.
okay, that, and I think that's your way of feeling some connection.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that any other way, and symbolically, you know, this is the way that you can meet with him, even though, you know.
Right.
But yeah, it's more of a way of having some type of, and it's not a relationship, obviously.
Right.
Just a connection, just a way to not honor him necessarily, but just to be able to visit.
I don't know either. It is like
it's a weird way of thinking it, but I get what you're saying as far as, you know, devoting that time to spend time, you know, there. And, you know, people do that, you know, that's, you know, when they lose a loved one, that's their way of, like, staying connected with them and, like, updating them and, you know, all of that, so, you know.
I guess I'll know more once I leave there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I'm curious, too, to find out what the notebook's about.
Yeah, I really don't know, but I have this urge to take a notebook with me. I think God wants me to take it for either maybe he wants to say something to me or I just need, I'll know when I get there.
Yeah,
right now, I don't know.
I'll be curious to see what that's
yeah,
about.
Me too.
What happens. Yeah, I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah.
But you're not questioning it. You're just going to...
I'm just going to take it because I'd rather have it and just, you know, I was bugged out for whatever reason.
Yeah,
or
you feel kind of drawn to doing that, so definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be different. This is definitely different. This is different. Like, I don't know.
And I think, too, if, let's say, you were younger and it was something that your mom wanted you to do, like, oh, you should go visit your dad.
Mm.
You know, you might be a little more resistant. You may not be ready for it. You know, but because this is something that you feel genuinely from the heart is the right thing to do at this point in your life, then you know that it's for a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, no matter how you feel about it afterwards.
Yeah. Right. Right. Face all puffed up, looking
Yeah.
crazy.
Now, are you working today? Or?
No, I'm off today,
Oh,
so
that's a good thing.
I'll be able to, you know, go up there, take my time, not feel
Mhm.
rushed or anything like
Yeah.
that. So
Definitely.
I'm probably gonna need a nice nap after too.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
Like-
probably gonna take you a while to process everything.
Right.
You know, what else do you know about him that, as far as like where he grew up or nothing? Okay. Do you,
Like I a good majority of the stuff that I know about my dad is not good. The good that I know for sure is that he loved me like crazy, but
yeah.
as far as there's not really too much good that I've heard, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
So when we use the word love, okay, so, you know, do you feel love towards him? Even though you've never really had a relationship with him,
that's a good question.
that he's your father.
That's a good question. I never really thought about it, to be honest.
Like,
That's a really good
to
question.
think, like, how do you feel towards him? Like, your mind can say one thing, but how do you feel? Maybe you'll find that out today.
Yeah.
You'll, you know, as you're starting to open up and, you know, those emotions may come up, you may start to feel some of.
I think my love strictly would just come because he's my dad and he helped bring me into this world. If I just knew him as just a person, I would absolutely not love him. I would actually probably dislike him because of the thing. I would strongly dislike him and probably want nothing to do with him. But he's my dad, so it's like there has like.
Yeah.
But I've never really thought of that. Like, how do I feel actually towards him? Like, as far as love or anything like that, I've never even thought of that, which is weird, I guess.
Something to think on.
Yeah.
It may come to light today while you're there.
Like, but what like I said, loving him because he's my dad and he helped give me life, but what could I love outside of that? Because again, I don't know him, and then what I do know is how he treated my my grandma and my mom. So it's like I don't know, like.
Okay. So clearly he's done some things wrong, and done some not so good things.
Right.
Do you think, one, he deserves your forgiveness or your grandma? Anyone else's forgiveness?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I feel now having a better understanding of things spiritually, I can understand where he could have been. I've never been there, but I've had some things where I look back and I'm like, okay, I get why I would act like a complete psycho. So I can understand, and I think he does definitely deserve forgiveness. Whether you know he gets it or not is a different story, or whether he would even know that he's gotten it. Because again, there's no connection to this world now. So you know what I mean. I don't even know what that would look like. But for us, there's no point of dragging it on and just holding this unforgiveness towards him, because for what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not gaining anything from that. at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's been 30 years. Like, at some point, we just got to be like, life sucks sometimes. Get over it. You know.
Have you told anyone that you're going to see him?
My grandma. I want to tell my mom. I'm not sure if I'm going to. The last time we had a conversation about him, I told her I would never bring him up to her again, because she's in a different place with hearing about him or speaking about him.
Yeah.
So I told her, just for the benefit of our relationship, just not bringing him up. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to. But I might actually have to, because there's some things that my grandma has given me about my dad, that I need, and they're at my mom's house. So I'm actually going there Wednesday, and I'm gonna have to see if she can give them to me. So I am gonna have to bring him up. But as far as me letting her know that I'm going to his grave site, I'm not really sure I should do that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, if she were to find out, or if you did tell her, what do you think she would say about that?
Why didn't I tell her?
Yeah, but I mean, would she be upset knowing that you went, even if you told her?
I would really hope not, because that would irritate me. Like, why are you upset? Why are you bothered about what I'm doing? It has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Literally. I don't think she would. Yeah, I really don't think she would. I would hope not. Am I 100% confident? I can't say that. But I don't believe she would be upset that I'm going, because, like I said, it has nothing to do with her.
Yeah.
It's not like you can tell me anything, so it's not like any secrets will come out, so. I would like to tell her, but again, the last conversation I told her I wouldn't bring him up, so I don't really know. Like, I feel like if she heard somebody else say that I went, she would ask me why I didn't tell her. Well, because of that last conversation we had, and we agreed that I wouldn't. You know what I mean? So, do I overstep that and tell her anyway and see what she says about it, or do I just let her find out on her own and then come to me, and then I can, because if she brings it up, I told her we could talk about it, but other than that, I'm not bringing it up. That's what I told her, so, and she agreed, so I think I'm gonna just rock out with that. Somebody else want to tell her, by all means, but it can't come from me. She has to be the one to bring it up.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It's understandable. Yeah, because again, this is about your healing,
right? And
it's not about anyone else and their feelings or their views on things.
Right. Because everybody in the situation, me, my mom, my grandma, we all have different feelings, and we all had pain because of something dealing with him. To some degree, there's pain and hurt. Yeah. And though they experience pain in different ways, so did I. You know what I mean? My pain that I experienced because of what he did is completely different than what they feel. They feel different, from each other even. So everybody's pain is different in this situation.
Yeah. And it's okay if your mom chooses to not want anything to do, any mention of his name, and it's okay if you want to still, go and visit him at the cemetery. So
no one could tell me not to.
No. Have you thought about, if you are going to tell your daughter, how or when?
About my dad?
Yeah.
Eventually. I still got to open up about, her own dad to her.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
Yeah. Good point.
But eventually, she actually saw a picture in my mom's house when she was in the hospital. I think it was the day after I gave birth to her. Pretty sure it was that next day. Later on that day or the next day, whatever it was. But we took the pictures that they do in the hospital and you pay for them. She was in the middle, took a picture by herself. I took a picture with her, holding her. And then my ex took a picture with her because he was the one there at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw it, and that picture's been there since she was born. And she's always seen it, but she never registered. And the last time we were at my mom's house, she was like, she said his name, why is he kissing me? I said, because he was there when you were born. And that kind of opened that door to let her know a little bit. I told her that, I didn't have her dad there when she was born, that I had, my ex there. And she was just like, oh, just doesn't really understand, didn't get too deep in it, just answered her question. And but all that to say is I got a lot of cleaning up to do as far as that is concerned, to even bring my own self into it.
True. Yeah, and she's so young now.
Yeah,
too,
right.
A little at a time, but she may eventually have questions, as she gets older.
Right.
And so then you'll have to figure out how you want to address that. But in the meantime, it gives you time to still work through and process everything that you've learned, and all of the things that you're still learning, and you'll hopefully have had some closure, and then helping to navigate her through her own dad's situation, and then sharing about your dad.
Right. I don't even know if my brothers and sisters know.
Really?
Well, I know my sisters know because I've told them. They don't know all of it.
Okay.
But what they do know is from me. But my brothers, they probably don't even know. Like, at all. Yeah.
And is that your place to tell them?
I mean, I could, but
they don't
care. They don't care enough about anything. So, like, I mean, telling them, they would just be like, "Oh, okay," and that's it. Like,
right.
I mean, I told my sisters because they're my sisters and we're closer than my brothers. But my brothers, they don't care about nothing.
What did your sisters have to say about it?
They were just shocked. Like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? It was such a long time ago. I'm not really sure they knew what to say. I didn't know what to say. Yeah. Like, we don't even talk about it. Like, it's not something we just talk about,
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't affect them in the same way it affected you.
Right.
It affects you now.
Right.
It's a different thing when something directly happens to a person or directly affects them.
Right. And they don't really have a reason to think about it necessarily.
No. Talking about things and helping to, get some feedback, or just hearing yourself say the things sometimes in and of itself can be validating.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to be, like, excited because this is the first time you're meeting your dad, in a sense.
Yeah, no, literally. Right.
Yeah. And so so there's obviously some nervousness about, like, what's going to happen, but excited because, you're going to have that somewhat connection to him.
Right.
And so those feelings are okay to have. And then if you do feel anger while you're there, or you feel sadness or any other emotion, that's okay as well.
Yeah.
Just let whatever you're feeling, just let it arise, and just acknowledge that it's okay to have many different emotions, and because again, this is someone who hasn't been a part of your life but gave you life.
Right.
And so it's probably hard to know what to do with that, so
I got past the want of, or the hope, I guess not hope is not the right word, kind of wishing that I could see what life would have been if he didn't do what he did, and take his life, I think. But I had to realize the impact that would have had on everybody else. Like, I probably would have been the only one that was happy with that scenario.
But if, looking back, if you think about it, if you were growing up and he was in your life and at some point you learned, who he really was at such a young age, I wonder how you would have even accepted that.
I probably would have detached.
Yeah.
And then what about my brothers and sisters? Like, would I not have them either? Because,
Yeah.
if it was just up to my dad, not up to him, but because of the situation, I'd have been the only child.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it
just would have been weird.
Yeah.
Well, not weird because that would have been my life.
Right,
but,
you wouldn't have known. It would have been so much different.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing, we can't go back and change things, and, we couldn't even imagine what your life would be like, how different it would be, if things didn't go the way that they went.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we can't even imagine what that would look like.
I used to. Not anymore. Yeah, I used to.
Like how it would have been to have him in your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you have imagined that, what kind of things did you think about?
Just him threatening all the boys that I showed him.
Okay.
That's really what
I
just.
Could have been that protector.
Yeah, just
yeah.
threatening any guy that I brought up to him or anything like that, or just the whole daddy's girl dynamic. But that's really as far as I really thought about it. Like, I wasn't considering how it would have made my grandma feel with him being here, or my mom.
Oh, yeah, that's that. And
so that's why I said I would really be the only one that was kind of benefiting from him actually being here, and everybody else would be miserable.
Yeah.
Until I learned how he was treating them, then if he would have still treated them the same way, because I don't know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Just thoughts.
Yeah. No, I think that's understandable. I think any child who doesn't have one of their parents in their life would imagine like what it would be like to have that parent in their life, and how different their life could be, and all of that. But unfortunately, we don't have that, and that's not the case.
I mean, now I'm happy with the way everything turned out. Not as far as him doing what he was doing, but as far as like, my dad and my siblings and all that stuff, and the way I am now and everything. Like, it's fine.
And even though you love your stepdad and he was there for you and still there for you, it's not the same as if it was your biological father.
Crazy thing is, like, and if my mom never told me, I would have went my whole life thinking he was my dad. He's the only recollection of any father that I knew. When I was younger, I did feel something was off, and not necessarily just with him, but just something in general was off, and I didn't know what that was. But I just, but I would have just went my life with that something being off, and not for a second thinking it was my dad. You know what I mean? I just would have sucked it up and just been like, whatever, I'm just feeling like that for no reason.
But I wonder, as you've gotten older, would you have questioned things, or, you know what I mean,
that's a good question.
You might have started to recognize something.
Yeah, but even with that, it's like, I don't know if I would have had anything to back that up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know no evidence of anything else. And I wouldn't have, because my actual bio dad wasn't here. So, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have had, it's not like another guy would have been threatening my mom, like, let me see my child.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't even know if, I don't know.
But again, you had that, or still have that relationship with your stepdad, and it's not the same you know, because one is always going to wonder, like, what would it have been like if I would have had my real dad in my life? But we just never know.
Yeah.
You know. Do you wish that you didn't know about your biological father?
No. Because I feel like I still would have went through life questioning why I was feeling something was off.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
not knowing what that something is would have just irked me.
right.
Like,
so even though, you know, finding everything out was really difficult for you.
for sure.
And having to live with that and not knowing what to do with that and still working through that, the knowing is better than if you weren't ever told.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad I know.
Okay.
You know, yeah, I don't, because even knowing, it's like, I know, but I still have so many unknowns concerning him.
Right. And, you know, when we talk about your daughter and when you have to have those hard conversations with her, remind yourself, even if she doesn't want to hear it, she may need to know it, because it's going to help to put together the picture of her, like her life and her world.
Right.
Just like for you, it would always be something's off, or, you know,
Yeah.
something doesn't seem right. Whereas now, even though the reality isn't really what you would have wanted your life to be, you know, it still real. Like,
Yeah.
it's your story, it's your life, and you can give your daughter the same, you know, thing by answering those questions, helping her to sort through whatever she may have to go through.
Because it was hard hearing that at 13. It's like, why am I just now hearing that he's not, like, what are you even talking about right now?
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I definitely am not trying to drag that out. Obviously, she's still young and doesn't need me to dump all of my crap onto her right now. But I also don't want to lie to her. You know, anything that she asks, I tell her. You know, she even still, like, she's going to be getting her last name changed because she still has my ex's last name. And to her dad's, and there's going to be questions with that. Answer them. You know, I don't ever want her to feel like I'm lying to her. She can't talk to me about, you know, anything, because it was me. You know what I mean? I was the one who made the mistake. That has nothing to do with her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't want her to feel kind of how I felt. You know, that I was just being lied to, and even when I heard the truth, it still wasn't the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I definitely don't want that, because that made things so much worse. Like, a lot worse.
Yeah. That's the thing. Sometimes, you know, certain things are so hard to hear, but we have to hear them.
Right.
In order to be able to piece it all together, I guess.
And you gotta respect the honesty, like, regardless of what you don't want to hear, like, you have to respect the honesty. And because even with dealing with and God helping me heal through certain things, he said a lot of things I did not want to hear. He still does. A lot of things, but I know it's out of love. So even if I don't want to hear it in that moment, I have to go back and be like, all right, well, I know it's the truth. And suck it up. You know what I mean? Point. Like, but to not give that truth for whatever reason, it's just not fair. It's just not fair.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that to Jordan. Like.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the truth hurts.
It absolutely.
But
suck it up.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, right?
You know. But yeah, but it just goes to show that, like, you know, you can get through it. You can find a way to make sense of things, and you can move on, even though what you were told wasn't what you wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And maybe for you, maybe this is actually God's way of kind of stepping in. Maybe this is something that God has put in your life to do for whatever reason.
Yeah.
You know. And maybe now that you have God in your life, you have that, you know, that support, and you're not doing this alone, in a sense. You know, you're able to have the strength of God and that faith with you. So maybe that's part of this too, because you're in a different place in your life than you were when you were 13 or 20.
Right.
You know. So
definitely prayed over this.
Yeah.
So for sure, like
Yeah.
I definitely just anxious to see, excited to see what I want to feel after today, after all this.
Yeah.